All right. It's Jared here from Crypto Plan. How's everyone going? I hope you're doing well. All right, let's get down to business. We're going to answer the question that everybody is asking. Is this the end? Why is crypto crashing? And what's going to happen next? So I'm hoping that this short video, and I'm going to try and keep this one short, under 10 minutes, will outline why I think crypto is not crashing to a bear market bottom anyway, and that things are kind of fairly normal, even if we have a slightly more bigger dip to the downside. And I'm going to show you that through the total altcoin market cap minus Bitcoin chart. So the total 2 chart, and I'm on the weekly because I think we need to look at this from a weekly perspective because there is too much noise on the daily chart. But before we get into this, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel if you've found me for some reason recently, and click the notification bell if you so desire. All right, so we're on the total market cap, total 2 chart, right? So you can see that we had an all-time high there of $484 billion, right? So what we've had is a really good breakthrough of that. And I'll look at what has happened in a bit of detail for those that may not look at this sort of chart, may not kind of analyze this sort of chart. I'll just hide that there for a second. So if we look at that all-time high, we look at breaking out of it, coming back to it on the weekly, and then kind of pushing our way out of it. So we've had a lot of price action to the upside in the altcoin market in general over the last 2-3 months, right? So since January, things have been really good. It's been cooling down and then it's been correcting, right? So it has come back to back test this range, right? So I've had other videos where I've said, I felt like it needed to close the gap or test. And my last video I talk about, if you're setting up something or starting a project, you need to break through some barriers, and then you kind of come back and check, is my structure right? Is my platform right? Is my business plan right? You really test the solidity of that so that you can then launch into the next thing. And that's what to use a metaphor or an analogy, that's what the crypto market cap is doing. It's run up really good. It's shown that it wants to be aggressive. It just needs to pull back, kind of find some support here, and then fly on out of there, right? So let's go back now over here and just see, is this normal? And we can see over here that, back in, when was it? 10th of July, 2017. So, a month forward from where we are now, in the cycle, but still nonetheless, there was a big month where, even though it was a green month, a big week, even though it was a green week, there was a lot of price action. So you can see that a high was reached there on the 19th of June, and then some pullback was happening over several weeks, and then a big dip down, and then kind of recovery. So let's say if we went to the 3-day chart there on that one, we might get a clearer picture there. So we're kind of, price was falling and then a big recovery, so there's evidence there that on a weekly chart we can see a lot of volatility in 1 week. So that's fairly normal there. To see something like that. And let's just look at that week, for example. And for anyone that doesn't really understand candles that much, I'll just briefly explain it, that, the top of the candle is the highest price it reached in that week, and the bottom of the week. So the top of the wick is the highest price it reached that week. The bottom of the wick is the lowest price it reached that week. The bottom of the candle is the opening price for the week, and the top of the candle is the closing price for the week. So during that week, we had a a price differential of 73.29% from its top. So I'm not saying that it got up there and then dropped back down there and then found its way. It did start here, drop down there at some point, and then go all the way back up during that week. So big swing in volatility there. And moving back over to this moment in time that we're looking at, which is now only, and I say only because it is a fair amount less. It is only a 52% swing so far in this week, and we're just about to close the week. So we're about 4 hours away from closing the week. Now, for argument's sake, if we drag it up to last week's price action and combine the 2 weeks, then we're looking at a 59% dip, but it's still in the range of normality for corrections or for volatility in the crypto market on a weekly basis. So things are okay. Things are fine. Things are cooling off for good reason. We have back tested or closed the gap, as in, price action was trying to break this 700 billion mark for a long time and then kind of couldn't do it, broke all the way through. A lot of bullish sentiment, and then now we're in that kind of bearish pullback. So I predict, like I've done in all my videos, that this is crypto halftime and we've got a lot further to go. So we're heading up somewhere between the 2.3 trillion to the 4 trillion at the very, very maximum. But definitely that level of 2.2 trillion there is somewhere where I'm looking to start taking profits out of the market if things have gone very far. So that's that. Now, the last kind of indicator I've been keeping my eye on, and I did a brief video about this late one evening, was that I think the winner over the last week has been the Bitcoin dominance. So even though everything has been falling, Bitcoin has regained some of its dominance. So it's telling us that 39% level of Bitcoin dominance was an area it didn't want to break, and you can see over there that historically that is a zone of reversal. And then you've got this zone up here of 49.2, which is another zone of reversal. So I expect that potentially that Bitcoin dominance increases, so we get more towards the 50% Bitcoin dominance again before a turnaround. So once and I wouldn't be surprised that, once the Bitcoin dominance taps 50%, then that triggers a bit more bullishness in the altcoins again, because, then the altcoins are fighting back for their dominance over Bitcoin, right? So there's a bit of jostling going on, and we're not ready to fly off the handle and completely decouple from Bitcoin yet, because we're just back testing and testing in this zone between 50 and 40% Bitcoin dominance. And you can see down here, I've got this kind of target zone for 32% for, once again, a zone where I'm looking for once the Bitcoin dominance gets that low, where's the market at, where are we at in time, and, will I be looking to scale out some profits then? That's just one of my indicators. So just under 8 minutes now, trying to keep this one short, just to answer questions that, I guess the fear is high in the market now. Everyone's saying, am I still bullish on things? Well, everything is red, right? Like I'm looking at, game credits being back in my original buy zone, it's back into this zone where I was accumulating heavily. So I just bought some more cake. Once again, it's back down to the levels. It got down as low as it was once again in this accumulation zone where it was playing out this this triangle pattern. Hathor Networks, same again. It's dipped down as low as it has ever been recently. So, we're talking about, full, complete circular back tests of breakout levels, in these markets. So once this, week is over, which is very soon, and the next week begins, and, time passes by, I believe, and I'm very, very confident, but this is just my opinion, that we are going to bounce back strongly, because these kind of back tests are really just, reaching out, going, is that a solid base for me? Is that something that I can bounce off? And then, then the buying can continue again. The buying pressure in the market can continue again, because people have the moment where they freak out, they panic sell, and then they go, hold on a second, it hasn't gone down any further. Now I want to get back in, and I'm going to chase it on the way up. So that's what happens, and that's how while this crashing can happen so quickly, also the correction or the uptrend or the bidding up of the price can also happen very, very quickly. And only time will tell. Is it by the end of next week that we're going to be fully in euphoric sentiment again, or is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, or a couple of months? I don't know time wise, but I do know that there is probably still a good 3 to 6 months, depending on the project, until all-time highs, or top of cycle highs. So very, very lucky at the moment. I'm not going to be, lying to you and say that I haven't been slightly scared or slightly cautious, but I've added some game credits. I've added some I've bought some Bitcoin miner, Argo blockchain, as a kind of a short-term trade. So I've been buying on the dip. I haven't been throwing tons of money at it, but that's because I'm practically fully accumulated. My game credits position now is completely doubled from where I want to be. It was at 15,000 game credits. Now it's at 30,000, which is great. So I'm ready for my exit strategy on that once we start pushing towards that $1.80 level. So that's that. Everything is okay. I'm happy with where things are at in the market. And I think that our back test is complete. We've just got to watch now. We've got to watch, buy, keep on buying while things are low, if you like, or just sitting and watching and playing that waiting game. I think the worst thing you could do is panic sell, from my perspective anyway. I'm seeing comments on Twitter that are basically saying, we're in this for some kind of a life-changing wealth, whether that be getting time or, paying off mortgages or whatever. So to sell out now, even though I might be slightly ahead, would not be life-changing. So, I'm a ride or die kind of investor in this, in cryptocurrency anyway. I have my longer-term safe backup plan in the precious metals stocks there. So either way, I'm kind of hedged. But yeah, as far as crypto goes, I'm riding or dying. If it comes January time and we didn't go any higher, then so be it. I make that choice. Do I just hold for the next cycle, or do I take my profits and put it, take my losses or take whatever I've got left and put it in some other market, So for me, it's a hold moment, buy the dip, and just wait and see. What goes down comes up again. That old beach, the volleyball analogy, pull the volleyball under the water that far, you pull the volleyball 50% down, you're going to see it come out and explode a little bit higher, right? To see it go much, much further would be kind of scary and kind of crazy, but to come down even as low as sub 500 wouldn't be out of the question. Maybe even 520 market cap wouldn't be out of the question. But that's that. I'm going to leave it there. I did end up going over time and rambling a little bit. Sorry about that. But I've been Jared. This has been Crypto Plan, and I hope you're well. And I will catch you on the next one. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And bye for now.